The fire that burned her did not end with her ashes. It spread unseen, a fever of the mind, and I learned soon enough that once a village had lit its first pyre, others always followed. I was still young then, but old enough to labor in the fields, old enough to carry water, to feel the ache in my back at the day's end. The plague had passed, leaving fewer hands to work the soil, and hunger gnawed at us even in the harvest months. When the rains failed, when the wells sank low, when the grain rotted in the storehouse, the whispers began again. Not of God's wrath this time, but of witches. Always witches. The next was a widow named Aline. She lived at the edge of the wood, her hut no grander than the first woman's, her garden grown wild with herbs. She was gentle, I think, for she often fed the hungry with what little she had. But kindness is no shield when men need someone to blame. It was the cattle this time. They sickened, their bellies swelling, their mouths foaming, their bodies collapsing in the fields. No prayer stopped it, no blessing of salt or holy water. The priest spoke of sin, the men spoke of poison, and someone remembered a widow who walked alone in the wood. They said she had been seen milking the cows at night, though no one could name who had seen it. They said she had whispered to the animals, though no one could tell what she said. It was enough. They came for her at dawn. I watched as they dragged her through the mud, her white hair trailing like a banner of shame. She did not cry out, only held her rosary tight and muttered prayers through her cracked lips. The priest asked her if she consorted with demons. She said no. He asked if she had poisoned the herds. She said no. They pressed her with iron, heated in the fire until her skin blistered. Still, she said no. The people grew restless, for they wanted a confession, not truth. So they turned to the swimming. I shall never forget it. They bound her hands and feet, crossed themselves, and flung her into the pond. She sank at once, her skirts billowing like the wings of a dying bird. For a moment, the surface lay calm, and I thought she was lost. But then she rose, coughing, struggling, her eyes wild.